So the
Yeah, I can
first
see it.
and okay, thank you. The first and foremost, I will always make sure that everyone is aware of the contact information. So I will make sure that. So I am going to go ahead and make sure that that is everyone has it. So here we are to help you. And if you can, if you need us to, we can come visit you. We can call you. We can do a Teams. If you do need us, let us know. We will be scheduling visits, and actually, we've already started. So if there is a certain time or a certain day that you have that would be better than others, please let us know, and we'll be more than willing to come out uh, to come see you. Okay. So a couple of things. Uh, sorry, I'm sending. Okay. So one of the things that uh, we do need to talk about is NCCR requires that we have student surveys for all of our programs. So this is a short little survey, and I have created a QR code for a link in Microsoft Forms. So what this does is the student can take this and scan it with their phone, scan it with a tablet. I even have an actual link. So if they do have and they are on the internet, they can. And by scanning this, they will come up with a form to fill out. And this is the form. It's just a, oops, sorry. Let me make sure. I love where they, okay. So here's the form. It's just what's the school, who's the instructor, the date, was the area hazard free. I like this one. Does the instructor have a lot of knowledge and passion? Are the students engaged? Is it challenging, interesting? All the questions answered, treated with respect? Do you have any field trips, industry speakers? So basically, this is just making, this is a survey that NCCR requires, uh, and you can do it by QR code. So you can, I can send this to you in a Word file. And if you want to modify it a little bit, you can. I just need some of these a couple of times a year. So maybe once or twice a semester. I can send you the QR code, and or I can send you the Word file and you guys can do it yourselves, or you can have the QR code, put it up in your room, and they can go ahead and scan it and fill it out. So that is something that we are required to do. So that is something that we need to start doing. I've already have some instructors doing it. So if you have any questions, any heartburn, any problems, please let me know and we can discuss it. If you don't like the questions, we can modify it. If you don't like, you want to have it, you can. Uh, and you can modify it yourself, or you can just have it maintenance free by just having the QR code put it up. Any questions?
You're gonna email us that?
I can email this to you. Not a problem. And I'll email it to everyone that I have.
Yeah, that
To me, it's just kind of maintenance free. And if you want to have results, I can send you the results as well. It puts it into a spreadsheet of what their answers are. That way it's totally paper free and I don't have to chase paper. And when the audit comes up with NCCR, it's fairly simple and easy. I just print out a spreadsheet for them, and so that way it's totally paperless. So I can send it. That won't be a problem. Okay. Any other questions about student surveys? Okay. Same thing, if you do have a certain time or day, or we will contact you when we're coming out to visit you, and you can help us with a certain time. If that's one time would be better than another. All right. Something that did come up this week that I think is something that a lot of people don't know about yet, and I will give lots of kudos to Mr. Jordan, who happens to be on the call, and that is about credentials. NCCR has changed the way that they are, the credentialing is done in that the interface. I'll give you an example. Who does not mind of everyone seeing their credential? Anyone? Okay. Either one of you? Okay. So if you would, so when you log into NCCR, this is the dashboard. Mine kind of looks a little bit different because I have a little bit more access to help you guys. But on the left side, everything is the same for everybody. If it's a student, if it's an instructor, or myself. If you want to look up your own credentials, all you have to do is click on My Credentials. Very simple. So the student can do the same thing. And then if you have your students have training, it will be listed here. If you have any type of assessments that you've done, it will be there. Example, I've taken some assessments, certifications, so instructors will be here. Now, if you do have a certification, example, if a student has taken a level completion, they can click on view and print. And it will actually download the certificate. So that the students can actually download their own certificates, or you can. I think that's a great feature that we can now do the certificates that the students will do it. NCCR will not mail any certificates anymore. So if you want a certificate, or the student does, all they have to do is go to My Credentials and click on it, and it will let them print it out. So does that make sense to anyone? Any questions? That's a pretty handy. I really like that.
Are they going to still mail the cards when they complete core?
No, they will not. So what happens is when you go to My Credentials, and if a student completes two modules, that includes the performance, they can go to My Credentials, and at the top right underneath their name, they can say order wallet card. They say order wallet card, and it will, you get a free one. Everyone gets a free one for the first time. And it will say order, and it will go to their address. So the students do it, you don't, we don't. The students can sign in and click on order wallet card, and it will go straight to their home after they've completed two modules. That's both the module online test and the performance.
And then just because we spent today doing this with a lot of the kids, is we're finishing up our OSHA 10, and we're going into the careers. We're going into the career safe and doing that where it ties it to their NCCR. Mm-hmm. Will that OSHA 10 certificate pop up here then, since it's tied, and that OSHA 10 certification is supposed to show up on their NCCR now?
Okay. So, Jordan, do you see a problem with going ahead and pulling up Brock's so they can see a little bit of what it looks like? No? Jordan? I can pull it
Yep,
up.
oh yeah, go ahead. I thought you were asking
Okay.
me to, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is there a problem with showing it? Okay.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. So earlier, Jordan had some questions and trying to find some information about a student that had did some completions. So his actually has a pretty good. So if you have a student that you're curious about what has they've completed, what they haven't, you can actually go to verify credentials, and this is for anybody. You put in anybody's info and you say search, it will come up with their credentials. So with this one, this individual has done some module completions for core, and he has a level completion for core. If they have a completion example, construction, which is the OSHA 10, or basically the basic, it has view, so that means that there is a credential. As soon as they complete it, oh, come on. Looks like
I don't know if he has that one. Oh, it says he does.
it says he does. It blocked it, so let me. So we'll find out right here. Yep. So they do finish that OSHA or the basic safety in core, they do get a certificate. So if they complete it, they should be able to go ahead and get the card. And then if they have a level of completion, it will be here. And if they do have a partial, I'll show you an example of a partial. So example, they did the module test, but the performance profile hasn't been completed. It will show as a partial, like down here. Questions? So at any time, anybody can go in, and if they have anything that says you print, that was a completion of a certificate, they can print it out themselves. Or you, as the instructor, can go in and look at it and print it as well. And the students can order their own card at any time. Yes, sir.
So I found out today, so the old way of like seeing who passed what and then like transferring all those grades. So for the easiest way to see which ones that students have passed, they can see the same reports thing on the left.
Yep. So you go to the
they would
report.
Yep, reports,
Training
and then they
score
only get the
report.
one option. Like right now, they only have one option if they've only done like training score report.
Yep.
And then generate, but you have to do that twice for some reason.
There's been a glitch, so it kind of depends on.
Yep. That was super helpful today.
Yeah, that is a huge. If you have a question about, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, George. Go ahead.
So that part right there was still hard for me because it doesn't have like alphabetical order or anything. I mean, you could do that, and you go through the filters, but then having to like, go through every single student. So kids can do the same thing, and it only shows theirs. So in the end, if they think they're done, they would be able to show you, I guess, 8 that were done, and that also lets them see that they don't have to keep retaking the same quiz or the same module.
Okay. If you also hit the export for instructors, if you go to the score report under reports, training score report, and you hit export, it will come out with a spreadsheet with all this information. So then you can take that and go ahead and input your grades, and or if you have an LMS that will allow for it to be uploaded, you can do that as well. So that helps as well. Or you can do an individual training prescription. So an individual's actual score, and if they miss something, it will be down here in the training prescription. That will be the section that they missed the question from. So that's very helpful. I use it all the time. Okay, so that was something that a lot of people may not be aware of, is they can actually look at the credentials. And I like it that if there is a module that isn't complete, you can go ahead and take a look at it. And you can have the students as well take a look at what's done or not. And then there's also some other reports as far as craft completions, module completions, things of that nature. So, and if you have a lot of bulk, so if you want to do a lot, print all of your students' credentials, you can go in here and do a print credential, and you can do many students at once. So also, if you haven't found it, when you log in at the top, there is some how-to videos at the top. So it goes through and tells you how to do a module test and things of that nature. I do want to cover one item on a module test. When you go to assign a test, a module test, you'll go up and say assign module test, what program you are, depending on your school, you as the instructor, and then go ahead and find your group. And then once you do your group, you say next to assign the test. Right here under module, it's going to be under construction and maintenance, and then core. Depending on which edition you do, 5th or 6th edition, this is where you will go and assign the test. So any questions on that as far as that? There was someone that did, so if you go down here and you take a level test, example, core level test, that is not covered under our agreement with NCCER. This is a level test, so they're going to take everything all at once. It's not a module test. So example, it isn't them taking basic safety. It's not them taking math. It's taking everything. It's a level completion. And that is not included with our agreement with NCCER. So that's a separate cost outside of that. So if you're going to give them a test out, go in and be nice to them and do a module test so they can prepare for each one of them. So they can do a module test for each one of those. That will be included. So a test out is they have not done any training or instruction with you. Maybe a short review, and then you're going to go in and give them the test. So you'll maybe talk to them a little bit about some of the information on build your future or basic safety, and then you're going to let them test. You haven't done any training with them, and if they test and pass, they don't have to do any training. If they don't pass it, then you have to go ahead and give them training. Then if they want to do it on math or anything, other modules, you can do the same thing. Any questions? The level completion down here at the top, at the bottom, is not part of our agreement with NCCER. It isn't covered in cost. You know, I told you we cover all your testing fees. These testing fees are not covered of our agreement with NCCER. So that's a expenditure outside of that. So the only reason I said that is because we got an invoice that someone did do it. So any questions about the, so if I want to go ahead and assign, I'll just click on build your future and then assign it. And now it's assigned to that individual, that group. The last thing I wanted to cover, this is something that I'll try to go through a little bit more in depth, and that is the performance profiles, the performance evaluations. A module is not complete until they take the online test, and then they have to come over and you have entered and evaluated their performance profile. So that was in the bottom, or it says performance evaluations. You launch it. Now, if you've built a group, like your first hour, third hour, carpentry, whatever it is, you can go ahead and click your group. So I think mine, it was 10. But we'll go ahead and do some. So you see how the group sizes says 6, 8, 9, 10. So you can go ahead and put in your group and you can choose it. Or if you only have a couple of people, you can choose the couple of people. Or if you're just doing one person, you can do an individual. Let's see. So we'll choose individual. All right. So I go and I use the new performance profile, start performance profile in the top left. I'll choose it. Then you can choose your group or your individuals. Okay, I'm going to choose an individual myself. That way I don't mess anyone else's records up. Then you'll choose what it was. So we're doing core. And then if there's a level, so if you chose carpentry, it will say level 1, 2, 3, 4, and continue. And then it goes in and which module did you do? We did basic safety. So we're going to watch them do basic safety. We're doing 6th edition. Then I say start. This is the performance profile that we've been doing on paper, but is now online. So I am going to choose, since I'll have one person, if I had more than one person, they would be listed right here in this, in between here. We'll have all the students here. You click on them and you say start the task. And so now they're supposed to be setting up and climbing a ladder or whatever that task may be. Then you say stop the task. And did they do it? Yes. So I pass them or I don't. If you don't pass them, you're done. You don't need to do anything else because as we know, they have to complete everything at the pass fail. So he passed it. So then we're going to go to the next task and do it. If you use this on the left-hand side, you do not have to keep anything, no paper, no performance profile, nothing. If you go and do the bulk submission on the right, you must have a hard copy performance profile that you have completed. And they have all been updated. And now the performance profiles have a place for you to sign and the students to sign. And we must keep those for 3 years. Everyone, please make everyone's life simple. Go and enter it on the left. When you're entering it on the left, you're observing them. Yes, I am watching Clovis. He is doing it. Yep, he did the ladder. Yep. You can do it all at once, or you can do one task at a time and come back. So if you just see them do a ladder, go in and complete it, and then you wait for the PPE or whatever the next task may be. You don't have to complete all the tasks at once. You can do it, and up at the top it says right here, in progress. So you do click in progress, you come back and you can complete it. You can resume. Questions. I know this is totally new. It's brand new that just came out a month and a half ago. You have questions. If you are start to do it, you have questions, shoot me a message, give me a call. I'll help you. Okay. But please, please, please enter it on the left. We don't want to keep up with paper. Because when I get an audit, I have 60 schools and how many students. And if we're keeping up with performance profiles, I'll have to call you up and say, hey, Jason, I need some performance profiles on Johnny from 2 years ago. So it's a lot easier to just start doing it on the left. No paper. The online testing, there's no paper. If you do the performance profile through the left side, there's no paper because you're observing them doing it. The only limitation is if you do it, you can only do 5 people at a time because they figure that you can't watch more than 5 people at a time as they're doing the performance, the task. Questions?
Well, my question would be, sometimes I usually fill my performance profile sheets out like at the end of the semester. And I've seen these kids, each kid, I know this kid uses a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
When I click the start, is it gonna is NCCER, if I click start and then finish, because I know this kid's done it, are they gonna be like, oh, it only took them 2 seconds to climb that ladder or to set that ladder up and use it properly? Or
okay. So the purpose of the one on the left is that you're conducting the evaluation. Instead of filling out the paper, you're filling it out as you're observing them.
okay.
That's the purpose of the new performance profile. The problem, and if you're doing it in the manner that you have done, you're discussing, and that would be the one on the right.
Okay, right.
Now, as an auditor, okay, the reason that they are doing it, the one on the left, is because there are some bad apples, some bad players out doing this, and they're not actually watching the students do the performance profiles. And so that is the reason that they're doing the one on the left.
Okay.
And as an auditor, as I go out and audit, I catch some of those currently with the paper. But now I ask this question just like you did. There is no way, currently, there is no documentation of how you completed the performance profile if you went to one on the left or on the right. NCCER is not capturing any information about how that's done.
Okay.
So if you took 2 seconds, NCCER does not know because it will not show us the time.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do paper.
I agree.
And I'm not going to have my computer out there with me in the shop when these kids are, I have like a check mark. I'm check marking them off, right. Or,
Right.
So that was just my question. So, I want to do it on the computer. I just don't want to do it in the shop on the computer.
So you can use a tablet. It's tablet friendly. And the other aspect of it is also that if you have a class period and you go back at the end of class, your class period, and you sit down and enter it all in, that's okay too.
Okay.
because you
Yeah,
just did
that's
it. You
yeah,
just observed them.
right. That's
But
what
if
I
you
wanted
wait
to.
6 months, to enter it in and complete the paperwork, that defeats the whole purpose. So
Right.
if you do
Okay.
it each class period, and instead of filling out the paper, you fill out this, then you're good. Then the next
Okay.
time, if you haven't completed all the tasks, then you just do the in progress and resume and complete it. So,
Perfect.
but
Okay.
it will only let you do 5 students at a time.
Right.
So, which
Thank
it's
you.
not, it's a pain in the butt. And we've talked to them, and that's some of the feedback that we've given them from a sponsor, that this is kind of silly. You're doing start, stop, pass, start, stop, pass, start, stop, pass, when you're
Right.
doing more on a computer than you're observing the students. So we want to observe the students. So hopefully they have hired a third party contractor to help do some modifications and some upgrading and enhancements to this system. So hopefully that's going to be one of those. So
Okay. Good deal. Thank you.
yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, Clovis, I have a question on carpentry,
Mhm.
general carpentry, 6th edition. Let me pull
Okay.
that up here. Under Instructor Toolbox, if I go in there, get on my 6th edition, there's no PowerPoints whatsoever for me to show. Or I'm just not finding them, but there's only a few things in that
Okay.
for
So-
this level 1. Yeah.
Okay. So there is some confusion. There are 2 different resources. Instructor Toolbox is NCCER. That's your performance profiles. That's your equipment. That's the things that NCCER has provided you.
Right.
For PowerPoints, for videos, for lesson plans, for all of that, that is Pearson. Pearson is the end, is where you would get that.
Okay. Well,
And Pearson has all of those. And if you haven't signed into Pearson, then I can send you a link. And if anyone has not signed into Pearson to get their PowerPoints, their instructor resources, lesson plans, let me know. And actually, I'll probably just send it out to everybody if you haven't done it.
okay. I looked at on the level 1 for the 5th edition, they're there. That's why I was like, I wasn't sure.
The PowerPoint?
Yeah. If you go in under like orientation of the trade 27101, you can download the lesson plan off the NCCR instructor toolbox site. And the PowerPoints are there. But it was just the 6th edition throwing me off.
I don't see the PowerPoints. You did say carpentry, right?
Carpentry, level 1,
5th edition,
5th edition.
level 1, equipment,
I clicked the level 1.
level 1, objectives and
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah, if I click on any of those modules, there's the lesson plan. It's a PDF. There's a profile sheet. There's a PowerPoint 1
Okay.
and a PowerPoint
So
PDF.
I don't see that. Contact me tomorrow afternoon or Friday, and we'll go through and we'll make sure that you get taken care of.
Okay.
Because I don't see what you're talking about, and if we can, we'll just do a Teams and you can show me what you're doing, and that way where you're going. It may be a different, because I don't see, when I go to the instructor toolbox and then I go to core, let me see.
I went to, well,
Wouldn't he get the PowerPoints off of NCCR Connect?
Right, which is a Pearson. Pearson, that is a Pearson website. That's not an NCCR website. And you can get it from Connect, or Pearson does have a something that is not Connect, and it just has the very basics. But if you go to
Okay.
Pearson NCCR Connect, it has videos, it has a whole bunch of other resources. So that's where we would like for you to go, so you can get a lot more resources. But that is a Pearson site.
Okay.
And I'll send you, Jason. I'll send you the a link. And with the link also, Pearson has a faculty support team. And so it will have the information for that faculty support team as well. So if you run into any problems, but with Pearson, to get those resources, you do have to validate that you're an instructor. And
Gotcha.
takes a little bit more to do it, but it's not overwhelming. You just
Okay.
basically have to find your school and things of that nature.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a holler tomorrow afternoon. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. I hope everyone has seen and registered for the November 8th conference in Wichita. If you haven't, I think I sent it on this email with this invite and the recording for last month. So if you haven't, let me know and we'll make sure and get that information to you so that you can register for it. Let's see. Minimize. And of course, my contact information, if you want to contact me about anything, make sure send me an email, a text, let me know, and we'll make sure that you get all the registration information. Or if you have something coming up that you're doing, or if you want someone to come and speak to your class, or if we want to connect you with a contractor, let us know. Okay.
Okay.
Question? Thank you for your time, and I will probably send out Friday or first of next week the next Teams meeting as well as this recording and the registration for the upcoming conference. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you. Talk to you later.
Yeah.